What is up, fans and football fans? Back again with another video, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the quarterfinals of the World Cup. I'm gonna hopefully this is not gonna be too long. I'm not gonna go too in depth because it's late. Because I was gonna do this on Sunday, but I lost time, and there was plenty other things I had to do, so I didn't do it. But I'm gonna get this done now. So I'll do it before tomorrow when the first semifinals is gonna be played. So let's just go over this. Let's just start with the first one. The that was played was Brazil versus Croatia on the 9th. And this one was very interesting because Brazil were, of course, the favorites going into this. They were main favorites, and most people thought that this is gonna be overall easy for them to just get past Croatia. But as we saw, it wasn't so easy because they made plenty of mistakes, letting Croatia basically get into the game more and more. During the game, it was mostly even to a start, but Brazil were looking a bit more dangerous overall, and in the end, they did get their goal through Neymar. So he finally got his goal there, and it was a really nice goal as well. It was not, that was a really beautifully played goal. And it was looking like, yeah, Brazil is gonna do this. They're gonna get this done, and we'll potentially have an South American semifinal. But the mistake that they did, that they got complacent. They got way too complacent. They got way too comfortable and didn't really keep going, as should I say, with that intensity as they did. They didn't keep going forward and try to go for another goal, try to the result in a good enough way. And that's why they were punished. They let Croatia get into the game again more. And you can't do that with a team like Croatia, because then they will punish you. They will get in there and they will find a way to score, and they did. Granted, it was a bit of a hole in some ways, but still, nonetheless, it's still a big mistake by Brazil, letting them come back into the game. They got their goal, and they took Brazil to extra time. And during extra time, it was really crazy. It was like you don't even know what to really say with this. During the whole extra time, they most people thought that this is gonna take even longer. But Croatia once again takes a team to extra time. They get and finally it goes to penalties. And here you think like, okay, yeah, maybe Brazil messed up a little bit, but they have good penalty takers. They could possibly get this done on penalty, even though last World Cup. Remember that Croatia went through on penalties all the way to the final, pretty much, and also in the last round, in the round of 16, they also won on penalties against Japan. So these are two nations that are strong on penalties, should I say. But Croatia, in this case, turned out to be the stronger team on penalties, because they beat Brazil 4-2 on penalties. First up, stepping up for Brazil was Rodrigo, who missed his penalty. Then it went all forward. The next few were pretty much scored by Brazil. And Croatia. They handled their penalties perfectly. They got all theirs scored. But in the end, also Marquinhos missed his penalty, and yeah, and that was pretty much what what brought them down, and Croatia are through to the semifinals. Uh, Thanks to that, they made a mistake in the penalties too, and and having someone not their best player start taking the first penalty. That usually is the best way to go, because the first penalty I think is way more important than the last, because that sets the tone for the rest of the penalties. That sets the motivation, the spirit, gets the rest of the players going. And I don't know. I just don't know why Rodrigo was the one taking the first penalty. That was a very odd decision. It should have been Neymar, but that was the mistake they made, and one of the mistakes pretty much during this game, and yeah, it cost them. And you can see in Brazil that they were, you know, um, very much not very much saddened about it. They were most of the players were heartbroken. Neymar was, and a lot of others. This is not how they wanted this to go. Because in the last round they got a good result against South Korea, and they won their group and all that. They thought they were one of the favorites in this tournament, but still, this happens when you don't follow through the right way. When you anything can happen in a World Cup like this, and if you get too complacent, then any team can really can punish you. So yeah, but that's pretty much that. And Brazil are out of the World Cup. Commission to them and every Brazilian. Sadly, it didn't go their way this time, but yeah, this is what happens. Croatia are true. Congratulations to them, and they will be facing the winner of the next game. They has played Argentina, that beat Netherlands in a very much crazy game. If you saw my post reaction video of that game, you know what I think about that, because it was this game had everything. It was just controversial referee decisions, really nice goals, like a lot of drama. It was absolutely crazy, but sadly it was mostly just controlled by the referee, and he made it his game. Mattia Lahoz, just one of the worst referees ever, really. And it was just I just don't know why that guy gets to referee matches like this. It's really dumb, and it's so annoying. Really, it's annoying how he can ruin a match so badly. But I'll get back to that in a second. But overall, first, Argentina played very strongly in this game. Um, First off, throughout the whole thing, Netherlands did have many good chances. They also throughout the game, and they got into it and really didn't perform bad. This is one of the more entertaining performances. But Argentina overall were stronger for most of the game. Messi once again put up a masterclass of a performance. Getting an assist and a goal on a penalty. Um, so he was very much a really good man of the match performance by Messi. Once again stepping up. But it was all looking like Argentina were gonna go through, or they're gonna do well, and it was all done and dusted. Though in the end, Netherlands did came back first off with the goal, which they did deserve that goal. That goal I had nothing to say against. It was a good goal, a bit of a small lump with it, but still they deserve to get one back. They were very strong in the end, and I can't say anything about that. It was a nice goal, so I can understand that one. I'll give him that goal. But this is where Lahoz comes in with the weird decision to add 10 minutes to this game, and I'm not saying this is only why they came back, but it has a big factor in it, that these 10 minutes gave the Netherlands enough time to find their way back game even more and equalize as well in the last few minutes of the extra time. Uh, of the time, and that what got them back in. It was like a really special version of a free kick that they did. Really nice goal though, I have to say. But it was you can see that it's very frustrating for Argentina and for but it's Argentina that this is how it went. Though it made the game a little bit more spiced up, it made the game a little bit more entertaining for every neutral fan, of course, as well. But it was just I don't know. It was very annoying that this is how it all came to be, and it went into extra time. And during extra time, both teams really tried to go for it. Mostly, but it wasn't any major threats in the attack until the final minutes, really, where Argentina were very much close to scoring a few times, hitting posts and a lot of other stuff. Like it was very much close for Argentina to really finish this off before going to penalties. But in the end, once again, this game went to penalties, just like the Brazil game. Two quarterfinals decided on penalties, and this time around, Argentina did not make the same mistake as Brazil did with penalties, and they uh, let the penalty kick takers do what they had to do. With the Emi Martinez saving the first penalty. Emi Martinez was absolutely incredible in this game overall, but also on penalties, he did really really well. Um, Same in the first two penalties, but Messi stepping up after taking his penalty, another penalty, scoring another penalty against Noppert, and he once again steps up like a good true captain should, and he scores a penalty and sets the tone for the rest of the players, and he and then all the rest of the players do well after that, for except for um one of them. What was his name? No, like no, not Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, I believe it was. He misses his penalty, sets it to the side, past the post, which was a bit of a sour thing. I think like, oh no, are they gonna fumble this? Because the Netherlands, then Luke de Jong after that, he scores. Of course, he's really good. We know that. But after that, finally, Lautaro Martinez steps up like he should. This time, he does not miss anything. He takes his penalty, scores, and it ends 4-2 or 4-3 to Argentina. They go through on penalties, and it was a very dramatic game, and but Argentina deservingly, in my opinion, go through. Props to Netherlands though; they gave Argentina a big fight. Congratulations to them. Sadly, they couldn't more than they did, but they should still be mostly proud of their of how far they got in this tournament. Really not bad. Um, but that's pretty much that. Then going on to the next round, next two games. First off, though, we had say the big glory, like the big story, like how should I say, the big underdog story of this World Cup continuing. The big dream, the big fairy tale story, should I say, of Morocco that keeps going, and this time it was more sure than ever, really. Morocco versus Portugal. Morocco wins 1-0 against Portugal, eliminating Portugal this time. And it's absolutely crazy how they did this. They were playing brilliantly. They were doing what they had to do, going.
Det här är min.
No.
Jag sitter och spelar in.
Sorry about that, my brother. But where was I? This was um, Morocco went through very much, very strongly. They should they should be proud of themselves because they put the massive Portugal to a massive test, and they did what they had to do. While Portugal were totally out of it, they did not show their best quality. They did not utilize all their best players like they should. Uh, they just didn't. They looked lethargic. They looked like they were not confident at all in this game, passing the ball around most of the time, trying to get it going with crosses mostly to get the goal, but nothing more than that. They had a couple of close chances. Ronaldo starting from the bench, but he came on in the second half. He had a goal on one with Bono, but still saves that. And then Pepe towards the end also had a good chance with a header, but that was mostly it. Morocco really showed that they are a good team in this tournament. Once again, they got their goal and then they defended and held the game. Uh, so it's very much interesting to see how this all played out. Um, so yeah. Um, but yeah, overall, Portugal were not good. They were not good, and they you need to see that this is not the best way for them to play. And after the game, they were complaining way too much about the referee. Like it's only about the referee, and that's why I'm saying I know I said also about Lahoz, but that's me as a neutral, just saying like it was some other things. But I'm saying this is the difference though. Argentina, even though they complained about the referee, they complained afterwards after they at least went in there and off and kept going and kept their spirit going and worked their way over to a win in the end. But this time it was they lost and they complained only. You could like you know could see Pepe and others just complaining about the Argentine referee and saying also that what happened with the Argentina the other and then when you have an Argentinian referee now as well their game and they're saying like it was set up or something. It's just it's annoying to see players do that and just start complaining about the referee. It's just unprofessional and just dumb. And I just like I don't know if they were if they actually tried their absolute best and you saw a proper performance from them and you can see that they were going for it. They were close, and then the referee did something really dumb and messed it up. Just like you know, then I can understand complaining about the referee. Then I can understand getting in there and talking about it. But they barely even tried. They didn't do much at all. They just passed around the ball and tried to cross it most of the time. They barely tried. They barely did something out of substance. They only had a couple of clear chances, but that was it. You know, you can't complain about the referee when you didn't really perform at your best. And you can't blame that loss solely on the referee because of that. Because it was your own fault that you didn't go for it more. That you didn't get the tactics right. It was the coach. It was the coach, the players, and all that. And, and that's why I see that Argentina and also the Netherlands to an extent have the right to somewhat complain about the host's interference in the game. Because they both went for it, they both tried, they both played really solidly. Portugal didn't, and then it looks more like I'm not trying to like be like for anything. I'm just saying like it is. If they would have played, I could have understood their complaints. Then I would have accepted that. But as it is, it's not valid to only complain about the referee and blame that just mostly on the referee because if you don't go for it in a World Cup like this, whatever the referee does, it's not really the referee's fault, because even though the referee gets in the way, you should still be able to, with the team that you have, with the quality of the world class stars in your team that you have, you should be able to go through. You should be able to put up a much stronger, much more solid performance against a team like Morocco. Even though Morocco has been surprising this tournament, they have been absolutely incredible. I'm not taking away anything from them. Of course, definitely after this, they eliminated Spain even. But when you compare the two teams and the quality that they have with the players and all that, Portugal should do much better than this. And it's not even close. It's really really crazy because you can see that what they did against Switzerland. They when saw that, then when you look at this, they couldn't do the same against Morocco. And that goes back to what I said before in my last video. That was more about Switzerland being lesser than Portugal being greater. As it seems now, I don't know if that's exactly how it is, but it really is. I don't know if that's to the players or the tactics of the coach, or the selection of the players, like, or the lineups and all that stuff. It's really just to see Portugal just um go down to that, really. By coming straight into Portugal and every Portuguese, um, it's not a fun thing to see, but that's football. That is football, and that is the World Cup. Anything can really happen. And congrats to Morocco. There, the dog story continues. They're in the semifinals, and no matter what happens there, they can they can pat themselves on the back. They can definitely hold their heads high, and be proud of themselves for getting this far. Being in the top four in the world in the World Cup, that alone is absolutely incredible. And to have a chance to even be possibly in the top three in any way is also just that's something that nobody expected Morocco to achieve. So props to them, really well done, and we'll see how that goes, if they can make it all the way to the final or not. But yeah, so far, they should be very proud of all the performances. And then into the final one, we have France. Their opponents in the semifinals. It is France, who beat England with 2-1. This one I have not too much to say about, but it was just a few things. France, once again, of course, most people expected them to win, though England did not play terribly. They did cut off Mbappe in almost all the game very well, but they just weren't fully solid enough to keep away some of the other players like Giroud and so on. It was like, I don't know. For the first goal for France was really good one by Tchouaméni, or how you pronounce his name. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but the Real Madrid midfielder, the young Real Madrid midfielder, right? He scored a really good goal from outside. Really with a nice strike and surprising strike, and yeah, they go up 1-0. Um, but then I believe, I don't know if it was. I can't remember if it was England who scored first or it was France who scored. But even through it all, then England got their goal via penalty, which was a bit. So people saying like it's, but yeah, in the end they do get a penalty, and they score. The Hurricane scores via that penalty, but France, once again, they do what they have to do. They have the lead, and the lead Giroud, and Giroud, and he once again extends his uh all top time top all time top scorer of the France national team. He passed Henri in the last game, so now he's extending that. Really good break performance by him. Really great tournament by him. He has been really much reliable for France in this tournament. Though England get another penalty, this time that penalty was a little bit more controversial. Not like everybody fully agreeing that that should be a penalty or not. But this time around, Harry Kane once again slips up, but he misses. He skies it over, and that was mostly England's last really true chance to get back into this game. They try to go for another penalty, like to try to appeal for another penalty later on, but the referee was not having it at that time anymore. They only could score via penalty in this, and that's mostly where the danger up front they really came from. They had some other like actual chances in some instances, but it wasn't really anything majorly strong that could really threaten France a lot. So in the end, a bit shakingly, but still very confidently, France go through with a win of 2-1. But you can see that they can be held back and they can be controlled in some ways. But this time around, England just wasn't good enough. They couldn't really create anything, mostly on open play, and that was their downfall pretty much. And those missed penalties have Harry Kane. That's gonna haunt him a lot going forward. But England are out. Congratulations to England. They tried their best in this tournament, but it just wasn't meant to be for them. They didn't have the most toughest ways in going in during this. Their group was pretty easy. Their game against Senegal in the last round wasn't the hardest for them to get past. This was their first big tough test, and yeah, they couldn't really do it, and that shows that either it's Southgate and his tactics and his lineup that didn't work, or it's something due to some of the selection of the players. I don't know, but France were the stronger and better team, and England just didn't look as good as they could have done. So yeah, but that's pretty much that. And those are the quarterfinals. As we go in tomorrow for the first semifinal, Argentina versus Croatia, and then we have France versus Morocco the day after on Wednesday. It's gonna be very interesting to see these two games and see what happens here. Anything can really happen once again, you know. Can Morocco continue their underdog story and also eliminate France? That would be absolutely crazy. Eliminate the current champions, you know, that will be something monumental. Or also on the other hand, can Croatia make it to another final, second final in a row, or can will Messi's dream of the World Cup keep going? Will can Argentina get to another final? Will that story continue? It's 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 really a lot of stuff on the here and a lot of great feelings. And then also, can France be one step closer to defending uh their trophy? You know, defending their championship trophy, like their World Cup trophy. Can they win back-to-back trophies? You know, it's gonna be very much interesting. All these four nations that are left are all deserving to be in the spot that they're in, and it's gonna be very fun to really great semifinals. So I'll be covering those two, maybe with videos afterwards for each, and then this a video like this after again. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. Hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe if not done that already, and ring the notification bell to get notified next time I upload any World Cup video like this or any club video for football later on when we get back. And also I'll be covering most of the January transfer window and more like that. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Vi ska vara så.